My name is Arin Lindauer, and you're listening to A Life Without Struggle. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 wonderful children, a 2-time best-selling author, and a highly driven and successful entrepreneur. In my 17-plus year career as a mindset and health expert, I know what holds women back from a life you only dream about. Whether you're a CEO, a businesswoman, or executive, I started this podcast because I have been where you are, and I know you want and deserve more out of your life. I believe women are limitless. We just get lost along the way. The process to get you there is the topic and purpose of this podcast. When you understand what you want, you can truly step into a life without struggle. Welcome, and I'm so thankful you're here. Welcome back to another episode of Life Without Struggle. My name is Arin Lindauer, and today we're going to dig into a topic around your past makes you stronger for your future. I'm going to take this topic and I want to weave in some stories. I want to weave in just some trials and tribulations. I want to weave in how this can apply to your personal journey, whether that journey is weight loss, whether that journey is finding out who you truly want to be when you grow up. I want you to relate this to all aspects of your life and your goals and the things that you desire and want. See, I know for so many of us that we don't even attempt things because we don't want to fail. We don't even attempt to have the struggle, right? Because we don't want to get uncomfortable. We try to stay safe. We try to stay in this nice, just, easy going, easy peasy life. And I'm just here to say, that's boring. No, I'm just kidding. But I want to bring some awareness about the things that you're experiencing today, especially if you've been in just a challenging, difficult season of life. This is what's truly going to shape and truly make who you are becoming as a part of this process. It's in the times of darkness that we learn the most. I can tell you, after helping countless women through weight loss, it is never just this little linear path that was just easy peasy. Nothing in their life ever presented itself that, everything just was like, whatevs, this is cool. I like eating lettuce and carrots. I'm just going to be honest, there are tough times. And there are times that you're going to really ask yourself, is this really worth it? There's going to be times that you're saying, screw it. But I will tell you, every single time that you get back up and you keep going forward on this path that you desire, figure out something else about yourself. So many of us, we want to make weight loss super duper complicated. It is actually the least of complication when it comes to most things that we will endure in our health. And here's the thing that I know is the second you can get over the hump, see results, feel good in your own skin, it's like, man, you handle life in a totally different manner. So this message is going out to the woman that is like, oh my gosh, why has this been challenging? Or why is one day feel easy and then the next day I'm just like, man, sucks. This is hard. And I just want to speak into this, that we have all experienced this stuff, some of us on different levels, okay? But I'm going to tell you, when it seems the darkest, when it seems the hardest, this is where we learn and we continue to grow through the process of who we're becoming every single day. And it is worth every single tear. It is worth every single question. It is worth every single program you endure. It is worth every single meal that you make a conscious effort. It is worth every step. It is worth every time you get out and it's cold outside or it's raining or whatever, right? I'm just thinking of that because just this is now seasons are changing for a lot of us and it's going to be colder. And one of my biggest mantras is getting women to get out and walk and take care of themselves. And I'm like, I don't care. There's no bad weather. There's just bad clothes, right? You got to figure out the good clothes that get you through what it is. Now, some of you are laughing because you live in nice warm climates and you're like, dude, bring the cold. So in these darkest times, we learn the most. And I can speak on this from so much experience. I know you can too. We all have our version of life and things that we have experienced. And I know even in this season that I'm feeling personally here today, we've set some really cool goals. We've got some really neat things that we're working towards. It just doesn't seem like things will go in the right direction. But I know deep down that's not true. There's a lot of things that we're uncovering. There's a lot of decisions that maybe we wouldn't have made had things been in a different time or a different light. Had we not experienced some of the things that we experienced, with building a house and having to sell it back to the builder, or going through, the trials and tribulations of having young kids and having a birth that didn't go exactly the way. I mean, I cannot tell you that even to this day, I still uncover things about myself from that time and space that honestly is making me be such a better mom. Like, being a mom was not always something that I was like, yeah, I can't wait to be a mom. I was not the little girl that was playing with the dolls. And, I never really wanted to babysit, yet I did it just a little bit. I was always like, okay, what kind of job can I have that I'm going to make the most money and I can still get a tan? P.S. That was lifeguarding. And so I took it very, very seriously. And obviously, being a lifeguard, you have to get certain credentials. You do in-services, and I used to lead a team at a decent water park for Indiana. And some of you are laughing because you totally know what I'm talking about. But I always knew that I wasn't just going to kind of sit on my hands and figure life out. And there were so many things that even from a young kid, I can just see myself. And I can see how things have shaped me to be who I am today. One thing that was really interesting growing up, I experienced several deaths in our school. And we were a super small school, like 100 people. And it was one of the just gut-wrenching, horrific things that a middle school and high schooler can ever experience. I didn't know what grief was. I didn't understand that someone was here one day and then gone the next because a horrible accident happened. I didn't even understand that someone who literally sat next to you in class is gone the next day. I thought, it was only old people that passed away. That was my mind as a high schooler. But I know that some of those experiences have truly shaped who I am. We've watched multiple clients, young kids, high school age kids, and watching them, in their, late 40s and 50s experience that was just some of the toughest things that I've ever watched someone go through. And I know experiencing some of these things, there's a reason, right? There's a reason to hear these things, to experience these things. And I truly think it has helped shape me as to who I am as a mother here today. Having our son was something that both Tony and I agreed, yes, let's start our family. And I remember just doing everything I could possibly do to truly take care of my body. And I remembered in that time, so many people were like, why are you working out so hard? Don't hurt the baby. And I was like, man, are you serious? Like, eating the Fritos and Cheetos and all the crap is hurting the baby. But actually babies are pretty darn resilient and our bodies are pretty cool. So, but it was just funny because I would post different pictures and videos of myself, lifting and lifting more weight than what most women just in general would lift. But it was just one of those things where for me, it was really cool to see what the body was capable of doing. And ultimately, that is what saved me through the traumatic birth that we did have. I mean, that was something that the doctors and nurses all took into account as to watching me through 55 hours of labor, saying, she's pretty strong. Let's give it another hour. Let's give it another hour. And it was just interesting when the skies finally parted and I finally delivered him. And now, obviously, he was born not breathing, and there was a lot that went into a NICU unit stay. But it's just wild when you look back at all the things that led up. I'm so thankful that I chose that one time in my life to get really, really healthy and to get really, really strong, because it served me. And I'm not kidding you, when I looked down at myself after having him, this was a couple days later, they had moved us into a NICU unit room where the two of us could stay together, which was really, really nice, because I just didn't feel like I could bond with him until that moment happened. And even then, I was still so freaked out because he was hooked up to all these machines and everything was beeping at me. But I remember taking that first shower. I looked down at my legs and I was like, oh my God, what happened? But I had atrophied. I had lost so much lean tissue in those 55 hours of not having food and trying to deliver him. It was just wild. But these experiences, these times in our life are what shape us to be who we are. So I want you to embrace when you're in the struggle, when you're in times of your life that just don't make sense. Why on earth is this happening to me? I want you to look at these times and really start to question, what can I glean from this experience? There has to be things that you're going to learn. You're going to make choices that are a little bit different. And sure, we don't have to like the moment, right? I particularly don't care for the time and space that my husband and I are in right now, but we're learning a ton through this. And I know once things flip and get on the other side, we're going to be able to sprint towards the goals that we have put forth, because we are so dead set on what we want and what we desire in our life that right now is honestly just a bump in the road. I remember saying to my husband just the other day, I was like, if we actually shared everything that was going on with people, most people would be like, are you okay? And I told him, I feel like I should be more stressed out. And he was like, yeah, I feel the same. And it was kind of an interesting conversation to have, because I told him, I was like, whining and moaning about things right now is not going to do anything. It's just going to stoke the fire and frustration. And I want to speak into this here today, because what's hard for one person is just a bump in the road for another. And I want you to understand that you're going through the things that you're going through in life. And that is not to downplay anything that anyone is going through. It's not even to downplay the stuff that I personally feel I am going through or you are going through. But what it is I want you to step back and understand that there will be a day when this is no longer a problem anymore. What I want you to do instead is I want you to have the grit. I want you to have the grit to not quit. I want you to have endurance to get through this season of life. When it comes to a weight loss goal and you've got bombs going off all around you, okay, because they just do, okay? I want you to have the fortitude to stay so focused in on what it is that you want, and do not make things a problem that are not a problem. See, I get to see this very intimately when I work with women in weight loss, that we like to create problems. And I'm saying this because I've done it myself, okay? And we like to make things almost harder than what it is. And I don't think we do this knowingly, but there have been so many times that even my own husband has checked me. And I know this is because we've been through so much mental training together, and we can do this for each other. And I'm thankful now, and I'm thankful that I can receive this kind of feedback, if you will. But what I know is try to make mountains out of molehills. When it comes to our weight loss goals, try to make it harder, because everything we've ever had in our life, we've worked hard, right? We've had to grind and grit and work through and persevere. But I want to tell you, keep it simple. So an acronym that was shared with me very, very early in business was the KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And so it's not very nice, but just keep it simple. So anytime you find yourself working through challenges, because we're all going to come across things. I want you to know that working towards your personal health and having a high level of your health is only going to help you through everything. Just think about, and I mean, listen, I have had a cold from hell this last week. It just won't go away. It's not enough to knock you down, but it was enough to take my voice, which some of you may have noticed I didn't launch a podcast at the same time that I normally do. And I'm still a little gruffy right now, but I was like, dude, this is not going to take me down, but it is hanging on. And it's probably been one of the most frustrating colds I've ever experienced, because I'm like, holy moly, and it really makes you value a high level of health. So as you're working through a weight loss goal, honestly, any goal can be inserted. I want you to stay relentless on the foundation, because at the end of the day, when the bombs are going off all around you, things are happening that you cannot control. At least you know, I was able to sleep decently well. I was able to drink my water. I was able to eat reasonably well, and I moved my body. Those are just your foundational things that at the end of the day, I know every single day I took care of myself. You know, what was interesting is I was actually at a networking meeting earlier this morning, and we had a bunch of fun for Halloween, and there was a bunch of really, really yummy goodies. And the person sitting next to me, she goes, God, you have willpower. And I was like, it's not willpower, it's who I am. I go, I'm sure those goodies are great, but I go, I know I'm going to take our kids trick-or-treating. I know that we're probably going to indulge in a little bit. So I was like, it's really not worth it to me, because it's just Tuesday to me. I really don't care. And so could I have a bite or two of a few things? Absolutely. Would I coach a client to have a taste or two? 100%. But things like that don't even bother me, because it's not who I am. And I watched as other people went back for seconds and back for more. And I was just like, man, there's not a lick of protein over there. And all of those are just yummy treats. And I was just like, dang, that stinks. But it is what it is, right? And we like to feed people, and we like to, love people with our cooking and our food. And it makes us feel good, right? So I want to speak to you here today that whatever you're working through, keep pushing forward. We'll never regret taking 100% responsibility for your life, what you want, what you desire. This isn't about anyone else. The thing that I want you to understand, though, is when you feel selfish, you're actually being selfless, okay? When you feel selfish, you are contributing to a greater, which then translates to your spouse, to your partner, to your sister, to your brother, to your mom, to your dad, and then it translates to your kids. Our kids know every single weekend, Tony and I just have this routine where, we'll turn the sauna on early so that it gets heated up. And between the two of us, we're going to be in the sauna. We're going to get in the cold plunge. We're going to work a little bit on the business and our goals, make sure that we're aligned with what we want to do. And they just know that, hey, they've got some free play space And it's kind of fun because our daughter, it's been interesting. She's really taken to me a little more than maybe she has. And so she's 5.5 now. And she'll ask me, Mommy, what are you wearing today? And then she wants to mimic what I'm wearing. And it's super, super cute because I was like, oh my gosh, this is really, really cool. And then when I was sitting in the sauna, she wanted to sit beside the sauna. And I was like, hey, babe, what are you doing? Like, hey, you can go play because it's in our office. And I was like, hey, babe, you can go play. And she was like, no, I want to be with you. I want to see what you're doing. And I was like, okay, it's all good. And then it was so funny because I went to go get in the cold plunge and like Arin before would have been like, get out of here. I'm trying to do this. But I was like, you know what? She needs to see me struggle. And so so here's the deal. For anyone who's done cold plunging, like, I don't know if you ever just look forward to getting into it, but I normally have to psych myself up and I have to like get the cover off as fast as I can. And then I've got to like just get in. Well, she was asking 100 questions as all 5.5-year-olds do. But I told myself, Arin, she wants to see you. Calm down. Let her see you. And so I got in, and I mean, I really had to bring myself down more so because I just didn't have that time and space to pull myself down. But I was like, Arin, these are critical moments that your 5.5-year-old are watching you. And you're showing her, here are things that you value that are important to you. And she was so funny because she stuck her hand in. And which that's actually one of the first places you start is you stick your hands in cold water. If you're ever trying to get into plunging and just getting all the way in is just not in your wheelhouse, they recommend that you start with your hands and just ice water. So there's a little tidbit there. But it was one of the coolest things, just kind of watching her and having her see, because one of the things too that Tony and I have been doing is recording videos on who are mommy and daddy? Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we believe in the things that we believe in? Here's the things that are going on in our world, time and space. Because can you imagine years down the road when we're no longer here, but those videos live on? I mean, I have no clue. Maybe they'll get deleted and they'll never ever watch them. But what if they do watch them? What if they do watch them and they grow from them and they see things in a different light? It's kind of cool when you think about it. And so the past and the things that you've experienced, the things that you're going through right now are truly shaping you for your future. Do you just crumble? Do you give up? Do you just say, screw it, I don't feel like it today? No. You get after your goals harder. When stuff gets hard, go harder. That's one of my biggest mantras. When life is handing it to you, go harder. And you will never regret taking care of yourself. Have the grit, have the discipline, and the endurance to see yourself through any time and space in your life. And when things are good, listen, sit back and really take it in. Sit back and reminisce and look back on all the things that got you where you're at today. Take in that season. That season feels so good. And I know that season is coming for myself, and I know that season is coming for you. I know that you will nail your goals and then some. We'll set different goals. Maybe it's no longer about your health because you got it. And now all of a sudden, different opportunities are coming on your horizon. That's probably one of the neatest things that I see happen when people really, truly take care of themselves is new opportunities unfold. They start thinking clearer. They start thinking in more possibility. And it's just been one of the neatest things to see people's life go really, really well. Like, I have had people literally ask me, why are you so happy all the time? And I'm like, oh, I mean, why not? But it's just something where it's like, why not? Why not be happy all the time? Why not be happy for no good reason? It's all good. Why not learn and figure things out. Instead of whining and moaning and not taking personal responsibility, take personal responsibility. So I wanted to bring this because in your darkest of days, you're going to learn the most. In your seasons of joy, take it in. Take notes. Take notes on what got you here. I want you to have the fortitude and the grit and the endurance to get through all things that come your way at life. And listen, anything that you desire, it's 100% possible. Live in a pretty abundant world. So keep getting after these goals. Take care of yourself. You'll never regret it.